Hello, this is Skit, and this is the very long overdue fight recap and event recap from BattleBricks Season 2. Now, I was invited by Will, the event organizer and creator of BattleBricks, to compete as an international competitor. That means I did not get to compete in person because that was being held in a warehouse in Canada, I believe. So being an Australian meant I couldn't fly over, and also being in the middle of lockdown. So I had to send my digital file over of Silent Blue. And while Will built that, he also um, modified the robot a little bit to give a couple brick separator forks and a couple modifications just to the bodywork of the robot, which I am really thankful for. My first fight was against Scorpios, and going into this fight, I was a bit concerned because Scorpios, the real BattleBot, has been shown to withstand quite aggressive and quite destructive horizontal bar spinners, and Silent Blue being one of those, I wasn't sure whether I'd be able to cut through his armor. As the fight starts, we're going to just have a look and I will commentate over. So I spin up and Scorpius doesn't box rush me and I'm able to get my weapon all the way up to speed, a bit hesitant to go in. And I managed to get a really nice hit on his side armor that actually contacts and a piece goes flying. And he brings down his hammer saw and I tear it completely off, getting another hit on the side. And that actually rips forward very slightly. I don't think you can see it, but that rips forward the front panel. Now I'm trying to spin up again, and Scorpios without a weapon is left to push me around. That means I have to get away and try spin up. And so far the weapon is doing pretty well. You can see that front bit armor is coming off pretty well. I rip off one of my sporks, but then there you go. I end up destroying his wheel, completely ripping it off, and that's basically the fight done. And as you can see, I'm just tearing through that front right armor piece, and that's going to come off. And yeah, that's pretty much the fight. He can't move, so that is all. I'll just let you guys watch the rest of the fight.
That is a big threat now. I need to see translational movement, Neil. Scorpios is still trying to move. Count him down. But he's still alive. He looks like he's up. We see the wheel spinning, but only one is there. Count him down. 10, 9, 8, 7.
A couple pieces go flying, and Scorpios is going to be counted out.
3, 2, 1. That is it. Silent Blue.
And here I go, I'm spinning up again. My weapon is doing pretty well, don't get box rushed. And I managed to destroy both of his wheels. Turns out my weapon actually can hit his wheels. And I'm just tearing off the top part of his beak. And from all the impacts, the last wheel ends up falling off and he can't move very well. I think the fight goes on just a bit longer, but it's basically done. Push him into the wall. Not much left. I don't know, the driver accidentally ran into the wall here. That's okay. Doesn't do too much to the weapon. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know really what the driver was doing, but we finally get off the last bit, last wheel, and Duck is immobile. He has no more wheels. Gets a final lift on me, but he is knocked out. The winner of Scorpios and Duck I would be facing next, and Scorpios ended up winning, so I was in the, I think, semifinals against Scorpios in a rematch.
In the first round,
here we go. We're fighting Scorpios second time, and let's see what happens. And we're already spinning up. The spin up time is a slightly slower. And once again, the driver Scorpios makes a bit of a mistake, brings down the weapon, and it's bent, so it's completely destroyed, can't spin up. Meanwhile, Silent Blue is just waiting a bit, waiting back. not really doing too much. The weapon is starting to struggle a bit in this fight. I will explain afterwards. But we are doing all right so far. A little bit of damage, hitting the side. That same side is starting to come off again, a bit damaged again. And Scorpius is not able to move that well. I think he got high centered on a brick separator there. And the front right armor piece is again falling off, and there it goes. And I think once again he's the brick separator is actually underneath Scorpius, but that doesn't seem to hinder his movement at all. Another piece goes flying, and by this moment you can kind of see that the weapon axle for Silent Blue is moved all the way up. It's after all the impacts, it's gone and shifted 5 studs up, so it's not gripping the bottom of the motors anymore. And you can also hear, I'm not sure, but in the video you can hear that there is so much gears grinding, and that's because put on the screen, the weapon system is now failing. It's all shredded inside, and Silent Blue cannot spin up anymore, so it's all done. But the fight ends, and Silent Blue wins by judge's decision.
Advancing to the finals.
Now that Silent Blue won, I was really happy again, but I had a couple concerns with the weapon axle coming completely out of the robot, and also the whole gearbox for the weapon was really struggling by that point, and it had shredded itself. And I believe for the last fight against the next robot, Will had to run the gearbox in reverse because he had no time to. I don't think he had time to change it. So by running it in reverse, the shredded gears would have a bit of grip, I think, but obviously not optimal. But it's okay. Let's have a look at the next fight. Now, my next fight was against Rupture, and this was the grand final. So whoever won would win BattleBricks. And I was I was really afraid of Rupture at this point because Rupture had torn through the competition quite literally. I think they had split Huge in half, and they literally cracked open Tongue and Groove, literally ripping off their entire top plate. But let's see what happens in the fight. And Will has put on the anti-horizontal spinner wedge just to tank some Rupture's hits. As you can see, the weapon spins backwards, get a nice hit on Rupture, taking off the wheel and making it go crooked. But afterwards, at this point here, I drive back into Rupture's weapon, clips the bar off, and I'm high-centered. And so he's free to take a couple shots at me. I'm unhigh-centered now. I'm moving again. But as you can see, yeah, that bar spinner is insanely strong. It just starts ripping off the front wedge, and by then, it's basically game over for me. And yeah, he's just tearing apart my robot, tearing off the gyro ring, catching everything that he can. And you can see my back wheel's gone, chassis split open. On the drive side, it's more lift arms coming off. You can see the rest of my gyro ring is almost fallen off the robot based on sheer force. And yeah, he's just tearing into my robot at this point because I can barely do anything. My drive is half failing, but as you can see, I actually managed to get a pin on Rupture after he hits me, and Rupture is stuck on its head, and I can barely move. So even if I wanted to, I don't think I could have unstuck him from that position. And Rupture gets counted out pretty much while I am literally limping. I have half my robot left, but there we go. Silent Blue is the BattleBricks Season 2 champion. From that fight, I was really happy to be the BattleBricks champion. Obviously, totally unexpected. I thought Rupture was going to win that fight. I think it was just very lucky that he got pinned in that unlucky spot. But that made me the BattleBricks champion. I have a picture of the trophy that I got from Will. It's a giant bushing. And going into the next season, I decided to change a couple of things. For example, I'd make a very, very strong wedge, which is quite iconic on Silent Boom V3, and that never broke. I don't think that ever broke in a fight, and it caused some robots to actually overcurrent by hitting it. So that was a very nice change. Additionally, the gearbox was completely destroyed by the end of the BattleBricks season, so I had to change that, and I changed the gears to a 3-to-1 ratio, and while the bevel changed to the knob gears, so they were very much they were a lot stronger. Additionally, I decided to put in a lot more bushings to keep that center axle and weapon axle in place.